We have been following breaking news all morning long for the second night in a row now. Two separate shootings in Nashville. In the first case, a teenager has died. Cuthbert Langley has been following this one all morning long, and a tragic story, Cuthbert.
Steve, it's a tragic story and a frightening night for so many in this apartment complex that's down the street from where we are. We're talking about the Beechwood Terrace complex here in Antioch, just off of Bell Road. Metro Police tell me the victim in this was just between the ages of 13 to 16 years old. Truly an awful story this morning. Let's take a look at the scene. This is in the apartment complex parking lot there. You see officers there processing the scene. Investigators have been there all morning long. This happened at 1 this morning. Witnesses called 911 saying that they heard multiple gunshots in that parking lot. When police got there, they say they found the teenager with multiple gunshot wounds. They would not tell us how many times he was shot, but a witness we spoke with this morning said he saw as many as 30 to 40 bullet casings around that parking lot. Right now, police are going door to door, hoping anyone has any information that can get a suspect off the streets this morning. That neighbor we spoke exclusively with this morning says he recognized this victim.
When I got closer, I recognized the little kid, but I don't even know where he lives. I know he hang around this area.
So again, right now, Metro Police do not have a suspect in mind at this point. They are continuing to interview witnesses and neighbors at the Beechwood Terrace complex. Again, it's just a little ways down from where we are this morning. But no doubt, such a tragic story once again this morning. Again, this is the third fatal shooting in less than 36 hours in Nashville. Reporting live in Antioch this morning, I'm Cuthbert Langley, News Channel 5 HD.
Cuthbert, thank you. Unfortunately, that's not the only shooting investigation that we're following this morning. Matthew Torres in North Nashville, where a man was shot multiple times early this morning. And Matthew, I know the victim survived, but how are his injuries?
Well, really, he is not doing too well this morning since he is being treated with life-threatening injuries and is listed under critical condition. Take a look at video from the scene. This is just moments after 12:30 this morning when police responded to the scene to find the man laying on the ground. We are told this was on Buchanan Street and 16th Avenue in North Nashville. According to police, both men got into an argument. As far as what they were arguing about, that is still under investigation. But obviously, it takes a very violent turn when one of them takes out a gun and started firing shots at the other. That victim was actually shot 5 times and was left on the ground to die. Now, he was rushed to Vanderbilt Medical Center, where this morning he is still there. And as far as the investigation, we are told that detectives are working on several leads, one of which may actually lead them to a possible suspect, since at this point they have not taken anyone into custody. So if you have information that could help out with this investigation, call police. We are reporting live in North Nashville this morning. I'm Matthew Torres, News Channel 5 HD.
All right, Matthew, thank you very much. Some developing news this morning. A congregation waking up to see their church gone, destroyed by fire. Faith Life Church in Laverne went up in flames last night around 9. It's a total loss. The smoke and the flames could be seen miles away on the interstate. According to a spokesperson with the fire department, the loss of that church will affect a lot of people. Apparently, the congregation very involved in the community. No word yet if they're going to rebuild.
There's new details this morning about an accused killer on the run. Police are looking for Dimitri Mishavo. He's accused of shooting and killing his wife's cousin, Terrell Parker, during an argument on South 7th Street late Wednesday. If you know where he is, call Crime Stopper 615-74-CRIME. Meanwhile, we now know the identity of the victim who was killed at a shooting in the Edge Hill neighborhood. That shooting also happened Wednesday night. John Sykes was found shot on the basketball court of the Edge Hill homes. Police say he was inside an apartment with his girlfriend when he took a phone call and said he'd be right back. Authorities say that's when neighbors heard shots fired a short time later near Horton Avenue. Investigators are still looking for anyone involved in the crime.
The man shot and killed by officers in a standoff yesterday morning down near the Brentwood area had a history of mental illness and paranoia. That's the latest from police and neighbors. It began yesterday morning in Oak Hill when officers went to serve John Acree a warrant after he failed to show up in court. Because of that history of mental illness, though, the police were well aware of what they were walking into. 4 officers were serving the warrant, 2 in front, 2 in back. Acree allegedly ignored the orders to come out. He left out of the back of the house, and that's when officers say when they saw him coming, he had a pistol in his hand. An officer opened fire, fatally shooting Acre. That officer is William Wright. He's been placed on administrative assignment, and that is normal after an officer-involved shooting. He's a 4-year veteran of the Metro Police Force. New this morning, a man arrested in Murfreesboro after threatening to kill an officer and his family. WGNS radio reporting it began when Robert Dunn yelled, "Are you looking at me?" at the officers. They arrested him for disorderly conduct, public intoxication, and theft for a stolen video game that he had on him. Once he was in the patrol car, it got a little worse, though. Dunn started making threats against the officer and his family. So now Dunn is looking at an additional charge of retaliation.
The teen arrested for making threats against his school is going to trial. Benjamin Mobley waived his court appearance yesterday, so the judge set his case to go to trial in June. Mobley is one of 9 students facing charges in connection to a series of bomb threats at Williamson County schools over the last few weeks. In addition to criminal charges, if found guilty, those students face a minimum of 1 year expulsion. And a Metro principal is back on the job and in good standing this morning. Earlier this month, we reported that Metro schools had placed J.E. Moss Elementary Principal Carlos Comer on paid administrative leave. Now, this came after a parent filed a report alleging Comer had used excessive force to restrain a student. An internal review of the allegation by Metro schools found no evidence of misconduct, and Principal Comer is now back on the job.